Imagine the world 30,000 years ago. Humans were small, slow, and surrounded by predators with far superior senses. Among all animals, horses, cattle, or even our fellow primates, our closest ally came from one of our greatest rivals, the gray wolf, Canis lupus. Today, there are more than 900 million dogs on the planet, performing roles that range from herding sheep to wearing birthday hats while lying on our beds. But how did a fierce predator become our best friend? The answer is not merely practical. It is a story of biological, chemical, and psychological coevolution, unlike anything that happened with any other species. Contrary to what many people believe, humans did not intentionally create dogs. The leading theory suggests that dogs domesticated themselves. Our hunter-gatherer camps were piles of free calories filled with food scraps and animal carcasses. Aggressive wolves were chased away or killed, but the more curious and less fearful individuals were able to approach and feed on the leftovers. These friendlier wolves survived more successfully and passed their genes for docility to future generations. Over time, evolution filtered wolves based on personality rather than strength alone. How did tameness change the physical appearance of these animals? A famous Russian experiment involving silver foxes, launched in 1959 by Dmitry Belyaev, revealed the answer. By selectively breeding only the tamest foxes, scientists noticed a reduction in adrenaline levels. Because adrenaline shares biochemical pathways with melanin, the foxes began developing white patches, floppy ears, shorter tails, and smaller snouts, traits commonly seen in domesticated animals. This process, known as neoteny, favors youthful and submissive characteristics that humans tend to perceive as attractive and non-threatening. Why do we trust dogs more than horses or cats? The answer lies in their eyes. Scientists discovered that dogs evolved a unique facial muscle called the levator anguli oculi medialis, which allows them to raise their inner eyebrows and create the famous puppy dog eyes. Wolves do not possess this muscle. While wolves often interpret direct eye contact as a threat, dogs actively seek it as a way to communicate and ask for help. When we look into a dog's eyes, both brains release oxytocin, the same bonding hormone involved in the relationship between mothers and infants. No other domesticated animal triggers this chemical response as strongly. Dogs possess a form of intelligence specifically adapted to working with humans, known as social cognition. If you point toward a bucket containing food, a dog will instinctively understand the gesture, even as an untrained puppy. Surprisingly, chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, and even wolves raised by humans often fail this test. Dogs read our facial expressions, follow our gaze, and understand our intentions. This has turned them into a living technology, equipped with noses up to 10,000 times more sensitive than ours, and ears capable of detecting frequencies beyond human hearing. Our history with dogs is so profound that we changed each other's biology. When humans developed agriculture, our diet shifted toward grains. Both humans and dogs evolved to produce more amylase through the AMY2B gene, allowing efficient digestion of starch. Wolves and dingoes do not possess this adaptation on the same scale. In regions such as the Himalayas, Tibetan mastiffs interbred with local wolves and acquired genes that allow survival in low-oxygen environments. Humans living in the same region underwent a similar adaptation process through ancient interbreeding with archaic human species. Studies indicate that dogs and wolves diverged genetically between 27,000 and 40,000 years ago. Discoveries such as Dogor, an 18,000-year-old frozen puppy, help researchers map this transition from wolf to companion. On a modern psychological level, many people prefer the company of animals over humans because of a concept known as unconditional positive regard. Human interactions can be exhausting. They require us to decode lies, sarcasm, and hidden intentions. A dog is biologically incapable of deception. If it is happy, it wags its tail. If it is angry, it growls. According to polyvagal theory, being around toxic people can place our nervous system into a fight or flight state. Being around animals can move us into a state of safety and rest, physically lowering blood pressure and cortisol levels. For many people, a dog becomes the secure base that their human family failed to provide. The relationship between humans and dogs was never just about usefulness. It was about affection and shared survival. Archaeological evidence shows that dogs were buried with honors and ceremonial objects as far back as 16,000 years ago, often alongside their owners. This suggests that grief and love for dogs have existed for thousands of years. We chose dogs because they were the only animals that, in the darkness of the Ice Age, looked toward our campfires and decided to trust us. We changed their DNA, and they changed our history. The next time your dog looks at you, remember that this gaze took 30,000 years to evolve.